I don't know if you could hear that thunder, but it is raining cats and dogs right now. But hello everyone, thank you for clicking that link and joining me again today. Today, if you can tell by my fine outfit, we are going to be talking about love off the grid. Getting my notes out. All right, so we're talking about Love Off the Grid, Season 1, Episode 5, Poly Problems. I think it's funny that they seem to be naming these episodes after like the polyamory stuff. So, because the last one was Three's a Thruple. So, and the dogs are in with me right now while it's storming, so hopefully they won't wig out. I think Ethel's a little freaked. So, but here we go. And obviously I am back from Vegas. Look for that video later this week. And I didn't get a whole lot of vlogging done because I kind of suck at that, but I do have some stuff for you guys. We open up with Jen and Charlie, and they are going frog gigging, which is basically you hunt frogs and stab them with a spear. She's terrified of frogs. I shouldn't laugh because I have the same thing, but only with guinea hens, because the neighbor had guinea hens, and when I was a little girl, they chased me around. So she's got the same thing with frogs. Spoilers, during a rainstorm, she went and took shelter under a tree, and there was one under the tree, and then it came hopping out after her and chased her, so she's terrified of frogs. So they're like, hey, we're gonna go out at night in a boat and spear frogs. Awesome plan. I feel like, what do you do in TLC? But I don't know, maybe it's exposure therapy, huh? Maybe. So next we cut to Joe and Maisha, and they're going swimming, and they've decided that Mia wasn't going to work out, or more so, Maisha decided that Mia wouldn't work out, and she referenced like her work ethic wasn't that good, but really when it came down to it, she was a little too into Joe and not into Maisha as much, because Maisha wants to be the queen of the people on the compound, which, I mean, I guess that can work, but you need to make sure that, you know, clear up front immediately so people know what they're getting into. Next we switch to Josh and Angela, and it's him bringing a mattress and putting it out on a bunch of pallets because he's just going to sleep outside because they're not getting along. And so she calls her sister for advice, and he calls his bro, Austin, for advice. And basically Josh is saying that her lifestyle is a huge turnoff for him because she definitely does live rough. I don't live that rough, but I don't live in a place that is as hot as where she is. Off-grid living isn't really for everyone because it is rough, and to a certain extent you do end up without community, or at least the folks in this show are definitely kind of without community. Maybe Charlie and Jen have it, but like Josh and Angela don't. She lives alone out on that piece of property. And I mean, her truck wasn't even running until Josh fixed it. So it's really rough to move away from everything you know. And it's probably a little rougher for him, you know, because he's got the painted fingernails, and he's all about, you know, the party lifestyle still and that kind of thing. And, you know, it was a rough decision to move up here too, you know, because I miss all my friends, and there's nothing like homesteading or going off grid that shows you who your true friends are. But yeah, I miss the convenience of just, you know, going to get waffles at midnight or whatever. You know, if I want waffles at midnight, I'm gonna have to cook them. You know, there's no way that I can just leave and do that. It was a bit of a hard adjustment, and even to this day, we've lived up here for 4 years. I think the math on that is 4 years, and we still forget that everything's closed on Sunday. The only thing previously the only thing you could get on Sunday is sushi. And now that's even closed on Sunday. So the only thing you can get is fast food if you don't feel like cooking, you know. And stuff like the post office closes at 4:30. So I need to get my butt into town and check the mail immediately after work, you know. just stuff like that, where like the convenience of living in the city is gone. You have to plan a little more, you know, but like I said, it's not for everyone. We cut to Lindsay and Spence, and aw, he's building her an outhouse, but he's building a two-holer because he's hoping that they can be pooping partners, which I'm not about that life, and I don't think she is either. He makes a reference to the work never ends, and really, the work never does end, because if something isn't broken, which there always seems to be something broken, there's always something to fix or improve or make bigger or. So this past weekend, as in, I guess not, I can't even say this past weekend. Yeah, I can. This past weekend, the project was to fix the leaf springs on the trailer because those were broken. And then today we were going to mud the house, but guess what? It's raining, so we can't do that. So it's just, you know, one thing after another, you know, then it's wet or cold, or you can't do something because of that, or, you know, you have to go do something completely different, or, you know. But suffice to say, something's always broken. Usually it's the neighbor's cows have come up and broken off one of our water hydrants, and then we have to turn all the water off, so then we're without water until it dries out and we can fix it. So, I mean, it is never ending. Lindsay talks about how she is concerned about being cold over the winter because she said that the cabin was cold, and she had moved up there in February the last time. And she's like, I'm a fair weather homesteader. I'm cool when it's not too hot, not when it's too cold. And I can relate to that because my office is out here in the house, which is not complete, and I suffered last winter. I really did. So even though I'm usually looking forward to winter, I was not this year, because last year there were times that this house didn't get above 40. And if you're moving around, that's probably okay, but if you're just sitting still working at a desk, it is horrible. So I can relate. I'm not really excited about winter this year. Hopefully the sealing of the house a little more will make it a little more sustainably warm, I hope. Lindsay also seems to be concerned about being left alone if an emergency arises, and her thought process is, I don't know how to handle it. Now, I don't know what kind of emergency she is envisioning, but she's definitely concerned about that, and he's just saying things like, well, you just got to learn how to handle it, you know. And my thought is like, where the hell is he? You know, where did he go? Because he doesn't leave the place. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably going to get water or something. But why doesn't she just go with him? Problem solved. That also brings up something, her being afraid of being alone, because all of these people, except for Jen and Charlie, don't have community. They are alone. And there's this kind of apocryphal myth of the old woman alone in the woods, and in tribal times that wouldn't have happened because you needed your tribe to live. So, and that's one of the things with Charlie and Jen and Angela and Josh, is they need their tribe to survive, and they don't have a tribe. And so people didn't live alone like this back in prehistoric times, but back in tribal times, because your tribe was your community. You needed them to live, and if you didn't have that, if you got exiled, that was a death sentence. Which, you know, in the Hollywood movies, they don't say that. They're just like, oh, well, we exiled, you know, Bob over here because he was a dick or whatever, you know. He slept with the chieftain's daughter, so he got exiled. Well, that's a death sentence, because you can't just go over the hill and be like, hey guys, how's it going? Because they're like, why are you alone? If you're not a traitor, why are you alone out here? So that is something that is interesting. They're kind of trying to recreate a little bit, and it's not something that is necessarily beneficial. You should hopefully have some tribe. You should have some neighbors, even if they're far away. I mean, we have lots of neighbors now. We didn't know when we first moved here, but neighbors will help you. If you've got good neighbors and you know people, they will help you. do your house, you can go over there and help them with their house or whatever they're doing, or help them get their crops in, then they'll come help you get your crops in. And that's the kind of community you need. Come back to Joe and Maisha, and she is pestering him about getting married. He doesn't really believe in marriage, and he's kind of like, I don't know why she wants this, but she wants like a huge wedding and 250 people. And he's like, well, where are they going to, you know, we're going to have to get porta potties in here. And she's like, why would we get porta potties in here? And he's like, something about how if they all flush the toilet at once, that they're going to run out of water and meat, you know, very quickly. And, you know, he's got to feed all of those people. And he's just like, I'm not in a position to do that kind of thing right now. Maybe we can do a little private ceremony, and then, you know, later on down the road, while the homestead's a little further along, then we can do a big wedding. So he kind of agrees to that, even though he's not into it. And he starts talking about how, well, why don't we just, you know, do something nice out here? And she's looking around like, here? What can we possibly do here? You know, as if the land isn't pretty enough or something. And I actually got married on a camp out, so I don't really have a leg to stand on, I guess. I was, you know. And we're thinking that the house right now is complete enough. And this is something that's going to happen with them too, probably. The house is complete enough, but once you start moving into your house, your priorities change. Because it's no longer get the house done. It's, oh, we need furniture. Oh, we need this. Oh, we need that. Oh, we need, you know, to get running water to the place, or, you know, however they're doing their stuff. You know, so then it becomes that completely changes your focus, and your house will never get done. So I would recommend that they don't do the wedding. They just focus on getting the house done, which is what we're trying to do, because we've decided not to move in because the focus changes. The focus is no longer get the house done. It's, oh, we need furniture, we need beds, we need chairs, tables, cabinetry, all this stuff, instead of let's just get the house done. Shut it. You two. You both shut up. No. No. All right. The dog's wigged out, the camera turned off. What's going on here? Gosh, I'm hoping the camera was even on. We're gonna roll with it. So, back to Charlie and Jen. Now it's time to cook the frogs, and Jen's best friend Susan is coming up, so I'm assuming that this cannot go good. So Jen starts showing her around, shows her the cabin, and the cabin stinks, apparently, and Jen's like, oh, I never noticed that. So I feel like this might not go so well, but then they decide that they have to prepare the frogs, they have to skin them, and just Susan is mortified. Jen doesn't want to participate, but actually I give her credit, she does. I'm gonna kill Ethel. There's Lucy. We cut to Lindsay and Spence. We're still woofing, so hopefully it'll be quiet. So they decide to go paddle boarding after working on the outhouse and have a little fun. So Spence asks her how she's feeling about living on the homestead, and she's still having trouble, struggling, you know, with the lack of community, as she needs that. But she also wants to travel. And the problem with that is, as I've said, there's always something broken on the homestead. If you have animals, you can't leave them. You need somebody to take care of them. So I just don't see that he's going to be much of a traveler. I feel like he probably likes being on the homestead. That's why he does that and not travel. Cut back to Charlie and Jen, and now it's time to eat the frogs. And Susan is mortified. She's gluten-free, corn-free, everything free, and is not going to touch the frogs. So, I've had alligator, but I haven't had frog, and I don't know if it'd be very good. And then we have these little toads around here. They're so cute, but I think they only get like that big. But they're cute, and they only come out in the summertime when we get a lot of rain. So if we don't get rain, then they don't come out. Susan asks why Charlie isn't in Florida with Jen and her boys, and he, you know, he has a strong connection to the land, which I do understand that. And he's also says, you know, he's the only one up there, so his mom is disabled, so he's there to take care of his mom. This leads Jen to start saying, oh, we need a place for my boys. I'm like, maybe we should have them camp out. Maybe we should have them stay up there and see if they like it before you start making Charlie build shit. And I've been saying that since the beginning. I'm like, just have them come up and stay for a week and see how that goes. Then we cut to Josh and Angela, and he just says that her lifestyle is not, it's not cute. That's not cute. And he's out, like now, like very suddenly he is out. So she is kind of distraught, and I recognize that my life is like people's camping. This is how people camp, and that's much like her. He even says that camping is better than how she lives, and so he's done and out. So this leads me to wonder, what are they gonna do? Is he really out, or is TLC gonna bring him back so he can try to live with her? I don't know, because we've still got episodes to go, so I don't know what they do. Did they bring another person out for her? Is she just off the show? I don't know how this works because I don't actually watch these shows. Thus ends this episode. Someone wants to PLAY. No. Yeah, that's recording. This is what we call a masochist puppy. All right, everyone. Air hugs, and I am out.